Global War 36 enthusiast here with Operation 8th Air Force, turn 16.4, Japan. It is January 1944. Japan has 2 tech rules. I will try for advanced artillery at a 7 or higher, and jet aircraft at an 8 or higher. That'll come later in the turn. Purchases. Japan has 69 IPP to spend. I will upgrade 2 militia to infantry for 4, 3 militia for 6, that's 10, 9 infantry for 27, that's 37, 4 stages of heavy battleships for 20, that's 57, 1 destroyer for 6, that's 63, and then I'll rapid build a major port in the Solomon Islands for 6, that's 69. Got some housekeeping. There was kind of a snafu up here in C-Zone A13 because folks forgot about, or Sergeant Shellhole forgot about this torpedo boat destroyer here, and the 2 subs were up here on 15.1. So when the German, I said these destroyers, 2 subs, 2 Soviet subs are up here. So when this German destroyer entered the C-Zone, it would have to fight those 3 units because it's at war with both of those powers. So the subs elected not to engage. There was a single round of PPE between the destroyer and the torpedo boat destroyer. They both missed, and the submarine went back. So this sub was not in C-Zone A13 for turn 16.1, so these subs didn't attack it. So basically there's 2 destroyers in A12, one of them on escort duty, 1 not, 2 Soviet subs in A14, and 1 British torpedo boat destroyer in A13. I filmed Japan's 15.4 before watching the Soviet turn, so I didn't see that the CCP took Hopei. That means that Japan had 1 less income for Hopei plus 1 less bonus income for Hopei, so that's why instead of having 71 in the bank, I only had 69 in the bank on my turn. On 15.8, the KMT cavalry going into Beiping still had to risk the attack weakness retreat. We PBE'd that, and it did not retreat. On 15.9, USA only needed to pay 12 to start 2 heavy battleships instead of 14. So instead of the USA saving 1 at the end of the turn, they actually saved 3, and they have 85 in the bank. When Boston Bruce had his F-bomb tirade, because the 2 of the 3 defending militia rolled 1s, he didn't realize that Madrid was out of supply, or he did know Madrid was out of supply, but he didn't realize that when a city is out of supply, the infantry class units do not get their target selection. So instead of losing 2 medium armor, he lost 2 motorized infantry. By the way, I was laughing at Bruce's meltdown when he said I was laughing. He literally caught me. I was laughing as I watched his video. Okay, so lower your expectations for this turn because I am winging it. I know I have 4 combat moves, but I haven't written everything down like I normally do. So, as I always tell my wife, lower your expectations. From Rihe 2 infantry, move into Beiping. I'm going to do a swapperoo with the fighter in Tokyo and the fighter in Korea. The fighter in Korea is going to fly to Beiping, that's 2, and then it'll have 4 more so it can fly back to Tokyo. So 3 to P14, 4 to P15, 5 to P16, 6 land in Tokyo. The fighter in Tokyo will fly 1, 2, 3 to get to P14, 4 to Shantung, 5, 6 to land in Korea. So those fighters will flip-flop. So I'll have 2 infantry and a fighter versus the cavalry in Beiping. And from Hunan, I'll have 2 infantry move up into Shantung. And so I'll have 2 infantry and a fighter against those guys. All right. Those are 2 battles. Then I'm going to have from C-Zone P, or from Tokyo, 2 heavy battleships, a heavy cruiser will leave port to P16, and they will move down to the Solomon Islands. I'm going to have a battle here. The sub will be in that battle. Coming from Kwangtung, leaving port to C-Zone P41 will be 3 heavy battleships, and they'll go to P54. From C-Zone P50, I will have a heavy carrier, 2 fleet carriers, 2 light cruisers, a battle cruiser, and a heavy cruiser will move to the Solomon Islands. So leaving behind 2 light carriers, 5 heavy battleships, and a destroyer. That's staying in P50. Also going over to the Solomon Islands will be this sub. Okay, so let's reiterate what is staying and what's leaving. That sub is going. Okay, the things that are staying behind in P50, 2 light carriers, 5 heavy battleships, a destroyer, and a coastal submarine, and the 2 naval transports. From Borneo, 3 destroyers and a torpedo boat destroyer will leave port to P60. They'll move 1 to P62, 2 to P64, 3 to P54, and they'll join the battle. From Caroline Islands, leaving port to C-Zone P46, the torpedo boat destroyer will come down and join the battle in Solomon Islands. Okay, so I'll have 2 heavy battleships, 3 normal battleships, 5 heavy cruisers, 1 battle cruiser, 2 light cruisers, 2 fleet carriers, 1 heavy fleet carrier. From British Malaya, 3 fighters will join the battle. They'll land on the heavy fleet carrier. Okay. Then we got the last battle, which is Calcutta. I'm going to bring the 3 tactical bombers, and they'll come back and land in British Malaya. The medium bomber is going to go and hit the air base there to... Oh, I'm going to need 3 ships to cut him out of supply. Let's see. I will bring 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, can't quite make it there. Sorry for this delay. I know what I'll do. I'll bring 1 destroyer from P50. It will move into I-11, and these 2 will leave port to I-11, and that will cut off the naval facility. I'll blockade the naval facility in Calcutta, and then I'm going to bomb with the medium bomber the air base in Calcutta, and then he'll be out of supply. So the 3 tacticals will go in, plus I'm going to go in with all available infantry. So how many will that be? Coming not across the river will be these guys here and this guy here. How many is that? 18, 19. So I'll have 19 infantry that aren't penalized. I'll have this artillery that can boost 1 guy. So I'll have 18 at 2, 1 at 3. I have the artillery, and then I've got 12. The 11 infantry and the marine will be across the river. They'll face the penalty on the first round. Plus the 3 bombers, the 3 tactical bombers. Those will be my 4 attacks. All right, let's do tech. Tech will be the first thing that we do. Let's get this teed up for a lot of dice rolling. All right, 1 roll at 7 for the advanced artillery. Hit or success, and 1 for, what was the other one? Long range? No, jets. It's 2 successes. Okay, so these techs don't really matter. I don't know. I hope the game doesn't go long enough that they matter, or that I end up buying either of those units. But both are at stage 1. Okay, let's do the little battles. Let's do the Bei Ping battle. He is a cavalry, so he's not boosted. I've got 2 at, is there, nope, there's no terrain. 2 at 2 with my 2 infantry. Miss, and 1 at 6 with the fighter. Miss, and 1 at 2 with the cavalry. Miss, 2 at 2. Hit, and he has 1 at 2. Miss. Okay, so Bei Ping, let me get a rondelle. Bei Ping is captured by the Japanese with 2 infantry, and that brings KMT down to 1 and pushes Japan to 53, plus I get the bonus income for Bei Ping. All right, let's do Shangtung next. Again, no, I don't think there's any. Let me go check and make sure there's no terrain. Nope, no terrain there. So I've got 2 at 2, 1 hit, and 1 at 6. Miss. And he's got 1 at 2 and 1 at 4. 1 at 2, miss, 1 at 4. Hit. Okay, so I've got 1 infantry, 1 fighter versus 1 infantry for the second round. 1 infantry, 1 fighter. Hit. He's got the 1 at 4. Miss. Okay, so I do take Shangtung. That's worth 2. Let me put a rondelle on that. I capture it with 1 infantry. That makes Japan go up to 55. It makes CCP drop to 3. Let's do the big naval battle. Okay, he does have 2 destroyers, so I don't get first strike with my subs. I think I have 1 torpedo boat, or maybe I have 2 torpedo boat destroyers. I have 2 torpedo boat destroyers at 2. That's a miss. Sorry, I picked up the wrong color die. So that's my torpedo boat destroyers. I think I have 2 subs at 3. 1 hit. Keep track here. I don't think I brought any destroyers. Okay, I've got 5 heavy cruisers. I've got 2 light cruisers at 5. Two hits. That puts me up to 3. All right. Then I've got the 5 heavy cruisers at 6. Plus I've got 3 fighters at 6. So 8 at 6. 2, 4, 6. Okay, so I probably don't even need to get to my battleships and heavy battleships. Let's see. So far I have 9 hits. He can take 3 on his heavy battleship, 2 more is 5 from his battleship, 6, 7. So I've wiped him out. No need to continue rolling. All right, so he has 2 at 4 with his 2 destroyers. Miss. He's got 1 at 8 with his battleship. Oh my god, even that misses. And 1 at 10 with his heavy battleship. 5. So he got 1 hit. I'm going to damage one of my fleet carriers. Okay, so that was equally lucky. Maybe even luckier. Let's see. I thought he would get 2 pips. He had 10 plus 8 for his battleship, 18 plus 2 at 4, so 8, so 26. Yeah, so 2 hits is what I predicted would happen, but he only got 1 hit. All right, so he loses those 4 ships. The fighters land on the heavy fleet carrier. Let's do the bombing run for Calcutta. He has an AA. I guess I should roll to see how much damage I do. 4. Okay, 4 points of damage. It's a bummer because I might repair that later. And he gets an AA shot at 3. He hits. Okay, so I lose my medium bomber, and I need to put a 4 damage marker next to that air base. Okay, so now the city is surrounded. All right, I guess we do first strikes. I have 1 artillery at 3, miss, and he has 2 first strike artillery from his forts, miss. All right, let's do, I think I have 12 that are at 1 because they're across the river. 2, 4, 6. We'll do 6 twice. These are my guys penalized across the river. Nothing, and second roll. Nothing. Okay, then I think I've got 18 at 2 and 1 at 3. So let's do 2 sets of 9. This is my first set at 2. 1 hit. And second set at 2. 2, 3, 4. So 4 hits so far. Then I've got the 1 shot at 3 with the boosted infantry. Yes. And then I've got the 3 tacticals at 7. Only 1, but it is a target select. So I've got 4 normal hits and 1 target select hit. So I'll make him, it's not going to matter because the 4 normals, he's going to choose his 2 militia and the 2 AA guns. And then I'll get 1 infantry off that. So he's going to end round 1 with 7 infantry. Note that I only have 3 turns to take him out. So, all right, so he'll have 2 militia at 1, then 2 AA guns at 1, then 8 infantry at 3. So let's do the 2 AA guns that are at 1s. So that's 6 rolls. Two, 4, 6. Here's 6 rolls at 1. 1 hit. Okay, so I'm down to 2 tacticals. All right, and then he has the 2 militia at 1. Oh, shoot, these guys aren't at 1. They're boosted by the fortification. So they're actually at 3. 2 militia at 3. That's 1 hit. Hoping I'm doing this right. Then he's got 8 that are at 5. 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 at 5. 40 pips. Whoops, 1 fell out. I have to re-roll it. 1 hit. 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, I have 1 more to roll. 1 hit so far. Okay, so he only got 2 hits. Sorry, Hambone, you got totally screwed again. Just twice now that I've been lucky in my land attacks. So he's down to 7 infantry. They'll be at 3 in this second round. And I have to lose 2 units I'll just lose 2 infantry. Okay, so next round, I'm not penalized anymore. I have 28 infantry, a marine, and an artillery. So let's do 27. No, we'll boost the marine. So 28, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. we'll do this 3 times, and the last one we'll add 1. Okay, this is the 28 infantry at 2. 1, 2. All right, and then we do second set of 9. We still have 10 after that. Only 1 that time, so that's 3. And the last one is with 10 of these. Two more, so that's 5. All right, and then I've got the 2 at 3, which is the artillery plus the boosted marine. 1 more, that's 6, and if I can just get one of these tacticals to hit, that will be the end of the battle. 2 at 7. 1. Okay, so that's end. He has 7 at 3. Two hits. All right, so I take it with 26 infantry, a marine, and an artillery. I'll tee that up. We will put a rondelle on there. Fortifications destroyed. Okay. That makes Japan go up 3 and FEC go down 3. So Japan goes to 58, FEC goes to 1, and we lose FEC's money, goes to the bank. All right. So the 2 tacticals go back and land in British Malaya. These 2 subs are going to move over to P50. From Kwang Tung, this light carrier will leave port and move down to P50. From Tokyo, the light carrier and destroyer will leave port to P16, and then they will move down to P50. Okay, I landed the fighters back in Korea and Tokyo. I'm going to move 3 infantry from Rihe up to Western Manchuria, because Chris is moving, or Panzer J is moving towards me. Don't know what you're up to, Panzer J. I will move 2 Marines into Nanking from Hunan. And from Kwang Tung, coming off this card, I'm going to take the 2 cavalry, the motorized infantry, and the artillery being towed, and I'll move them to Nanking as well. So Nanking will have 2 Marines, 2 cavalry, a motorized, and an artillery. Okay, now what do we want to do with our other units? I think I'm going to do an amoeba where this Marine from Punjab moves to Maharashtra and this Marine from Maharashtra moves to southern India. From British Malaya, 1 infantry will walk across the narrow crossing to Sumatra. From, let me think here. Sorry, I didn't have this part planned out. Okay, I've got some troops that I could offload. I'm going to have 1 transport from Kyushu, leave port to P15, move over to P16, pick up these 2 infantry, move over to P32, and drop off these 2 infantry in Nanking, and then go in port in Nanking. The naval transport that started there in Nanking will leave port, go over to P15, pick up 2 infantry, and drop them off in, how about, okay, it'll come back to P14, drop off 2 infantry in Rihi. So let me break this green chip into 2 and a 1, a guy on top. Okay, so it's dropping off 2 in Korea and then going in port. Oh no, it'll drop off 2 in Rihi and then go in port in Rihi. Then the one that started the turn in Rihi will leave port, move over to Kyushu, pick up 2 infantry, and move down to 1, 2, 3, down to P41, drop off 2 infantry in Anam Tonkin, and then go in port in Kwangtung. And the guy that's in Kwangtung will leave port and go back here to Kyushu, pick up an infantry, drop it off in Korea, and go in port in Kyushu. So everyone ends up in the same place, but I offloaded the infantry. So I want to change in Anam Tonkin. I think I will move. I'm going to split up the 2 infantry there, so I'm going to take off 2 chips and get out 2 people, 2 sculps. So there were 2 infantry that started in Anam Tonkin. 1 will move to Siam, 1 will move to Cochin, China. All right. Then I think that might be all my movement. Placement of units. Okay, down here in Borneo and Java, I'm going to do a MUM, a militia upgrade militia. So I'm going to take off 2 of my militia upgrades and 2 of my militia and put on an infantry in each of those places, Borneo and Java. Okay, I've still got 1 more militia, and I will build that in, let's build it in Nanking. Put that on camera. I built it in Nanking. Okay, so I'll build 1 infantry in British Malaya, 1 infantry in Rihi. So that'll get me up to 3 infantry there in Rihi. I'll build 5 in Kyushu and 2 in Tokyo. 5 in Kyushu, 2 in Tokyo. All right, then I end up building 1 more heavy battleship. Gets placed from the gets pushed from 2 to the place units. So a heavy battleship and a destroyer will be in port in Tokyo at the major shipyard there. All right, and then I advance 1 heavy battleship from stage 3 to stage 2, and I lay down 2 brand new heavy battleships at stage 3 to try to keep up with the Americans. Finally, I have a rapid built major port in Solomon Islands. Collect income. So Japan is at 58. I only have 5 of the 6 Chinese bonus territories. I have 1 for Solomon Islands, and then I have British Malaya, Borneo, Java, and Luzon and Visayas for 2 each. So I have 14 bonus income with my 52, gets me up to 72 for next turn. Let me see what I got here. $72. All right, disposition of forces. Let me just see. I'm filming this on my lunch hour, and I want to make sure I have oh yeah, I have enough time. Okay. South Sakhalin Island, 1 militia. Northern Manchuria, 1 militia. Western Manchuria, 1 peaceful militia and 3 very peaceful but nervous Japanese infantry. Rihi, 1 militia, 3 infantry. Korea, 1 militia, 1 fighter. Rihi also has a naval transport in port. Beiping, 2 infantry. Central Mongolia, 3 infantry. Suyan, 1 militia, 8 infantry. Shangtung, 1 infantry. Nanking, 1 militia, 2 infantry, 2 marines, 2 cavalry, 1 motorized infantry, 1 artillery, 1 naval transport in port. Hunan, 1 militia. Kwangtung, 2 infantry, 1 naval transport in port, 6 infantry, and a mountain infantry.